What if your IT service desk helped you put your customers first? It can happen when it's powered by the world's most trusted cloud platform. Industry leaders BMC Software and Salesforce.com offer the fastest growing IT service management solution in the market today, RemedyForce. Let's meet Sally. Last week, Sally requested an iPhone by logging a ticket using the hashtag request capability, found exclusively in RemedyForce. IT got a request, and Sally got her iPhone. All was good until her mobile email stopped working. No worries. Sally jumps on to the RemedyForce self-service portal, and before submitting a service request, she checks out the articles section and quickly finds a possible solution to her problem by resetting her phone. Sally finds easy-to-follow, step-by-step instructions on how to remove and reinsert her SIM card. In this case, resetting her iPhone didn't work, so Sally decides to get help from IT. She gives some information about her problem and submits the service ticket. It's instantly routed to a service desk agent. Now, as an agent, you can start to get more information about Sally's problem. You can quickly tell if there's a problem on a larger scale. Right away, you notice there's planned maintenance. And diving deeper, you see there's a problem associated with the server and email on mobile devices. It also looks like someone has already issued a request for change, so you check out the latest status. Good news! There's a rollout plan, a backup plan, and information about who approved the change. It looks like Sally's email will be back up and running in no time. That makes Sally happy, and you a hero. Email is just one of the many critical business services your customers rely on. And with RemedyForce, you can monitor the status of any business or IT service at a glance. Deployment is fast and easy with no hardware or software to manage. Upgrades are automatic, so you'll always be on the newest version with the latest features. And RemedyForce is accessible to customers anywhere, anytime, on any device. Keep your employees happy and your business thriving. Try RemedyForce today.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever the time is where you're joining in for. Welcome to TFT14. I'm the second speaker today. My name is Dan Lee from Citrix. I work here as Senior Director for GoToAssist. In a previous life, I was the founder of Beetle, which Citrix acquired just under 2 years ago. I'm beaming live from Las Vegas today. So yeah, it's 7 o'clock here. So I guess we've got this presentation between myself and the tables. So let's have a good time. So the focus of my presentation is creating enjoyable customer experiences. It's not as hard as you think. As a founder of a startup, usability and customer experience was and still is pretty close to my heart. So yeah, hopefully today you can go through this presentation and come out the other side with a few things that maybe we can take and apply to our day-to-day service management organizations. A little bit about me. Here's my Twitter handle, Dan Bob Lee. There's my LinkedIn address if you want to get in touch on LinkedIn. Or if you want to get in touch with good old-fashioned email, funny how we say that, good old-fashioned email, dan.lee@citrix.com. The whole reason for the transformer behind the whole story behind that is, aside from me being a science fiction nerd, I believe pretty much the only constant in life is change, and what better and cooler vehicle on transformers there are. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to start off with a bit of a story. I went shopping. Yeah, a man that goes shopping. I went shopping a few weeks ago, and I detest shopping. I just hate shopping. And I took my wife and 3 children, which made it even more of a traumatic ordeal. As I said, we'd recently moved over from New Zealand to California, and we'd heard all these really good stories about this department store called Nordstrom. So we thought, yeah, we'll walk into Nordstrom and we'll see what all the fuss is about, you know. And you walk into this pretty impressive department store. You walk into the atrium, and it's like, ooh, this is really nice. You then start walking to the clothes because the girls were shopping for clothes, and you know they didn't have too much, they didn't have too few. Everything they had seemed to be really quality. We didn't have any retail assistants really bothering us. But when we did need help, they were always there and they were really nice. My girls asked for help. They're 10, 8, and 4. You know, and the retail assistants took them into the changing rooms, looked after them, made them feel like gold. Nothing was too hard. And at the end of the day, we probably spent a couple of $100. It wasn't too expensive. Went through the whole checkout process. The kind lady at the till, she put the stuff in the bag. She walked round the side of the till and she handed me the bag. Said goodbye, gave the girls some sweeties, and it was like, wow, that was a pretty good experience. And then as I was walking out the shop, I kind of thought, well, is that the experience that we often receive when we're asking for service, be it internal or external, or when we want help? And I don't think it is. Quite often we kind of turn up to this, right? Turn up to this store that we've spent looking ages for. We're not sure if it's the right thing. It's old, it's crappy, it's kind of, you know, a bit rubbish, boarded up, and you're like, oh, this doesn't look very nice. And then once you go inside, like, the experience is just as bad. There's kind of nothing on the shelves. There's no decent content. You know, maybe like this picture here, there's some bread on the shelves, but it's probably old, it's probably stale, it's out of date. The price tag is probably through the roof. And then when we need to actually talk to somebody, you might get this guy. You know, he's the guy playing games in the back room. He doesn't really care. He's kind of, you know, he doesn't have his heart in it. For those that watch Little Britain back in the UK, it's like computer says no. And I think we experience that far too often. I'm not saying it happens everywhere, and these pictures are a little bit overly dramatic, but just too often we face and experience really subpar experiences, and it's wrong. I think it's wrong. And you know, you look at companies like Nordstrom, like Zappos, like Amazon, that have built these fantastic empires, you know, on awesome customer service and customer experience. And you know, it proves that you can actually build organizations that have really happy employees that, you know, deliver outstanding service to customers who are happy. And we all know that happy customers are easier to keep. They return for more business. You know, they're not going to go elsewhere. And happy customers generally makes for happy shareholders. So, you know, maybe we should actually do a little bit more about customer service, and instead of treating service management as a cost center, well, why don't we look at it as a differentiator and see what we can do to make the customer experience awesome. So the next few slides of my presentation are like 10 things that I think we can learn from the likes of Nordstrom and Zappos and Amazon, and provide that awesome customer experience. So I'm going to start with the first one, and this is advertise. All right. Imagine you're in an airport, in a theme park, and you're looking for help, and there's no signage. Right? You go mad. You walk around in circles. It drives you absolutely insane. Likewise, when you go to a website and you're looking for help, and you can't find the link for help, or it's down in some bottom corner. Even worse, when the help link goes to somewhere wrong, or it's out of date, or the hours of coverage are out of date, you know, really make sure that you signpost the services, you know, make it easy for people to come and find you. Put posters around the office, you know, use a catchy extension like, I mean, everyone uses 666 or 888. Maybe 666 isn't a good one to do. The intranet sites, you know, the internal URLs that use a nice one, you know, use a nice one that people can remember. Put it on mouse mats all that kind of stuff, but make it easy for people to find you. Sounds like common sense, but it's amazing how often you really struggle trying to find help. So put yourself out there, put yourself out there. Then once people have found you through your nice signposts or what have you, make the front entrance to your store as welcoming as possible. First impressions last. So here's the atrium when you walk into a typical Nordstrom, and it looks great, and it's like, wow, I've like really turned up to the right place here. So make it welcoming, make it attractive. It is that first impression, and you don't want people coming to that decrepit old shack that actually happened to be in New Zealand where I've lived for the last 20 years. But you want to make it really, really inviting. What you don't want is something like this kind of website here. So this is listed, I think, as the world's third worst website, and you wouldn't know, but it's actually a car leasing company, and this person here, it's actually an animated graphic as a Chinese woman kind of shouting at you through her megaphone, and it's just really, really strange. And first impressions, that's right. You don't really want to give that first impression. That said, at least these guys, you're not gonna forget them, and they've got a kitten on the front page, so who can argue with that? But maybe you want an experience that looks something more like this. So Xero, these guys are a fantastic company based down in New Zealand. They're an online software as a service accountancy platform, and they've just launched Xero TV. But as you can see, it's really nice, clear interface. In this particular case, Xero TV, it's obviously providing videos, but it's all nicely structured. It's nicely categorized. It's super clear. They've clearly gone for the less is more design. They're not throwing everything out there. They've got a search, so search is massively important. But it's just a really good, inviting first place to go to for help. I look at Podio. Podio is a line of business that we have within Citrix, which is an online collaboration platform. But you come to their help and service storefront, very, very, very clear. Getting started, using Podio, community forums, and a search. So just real nice and deadly simple, and it just gives a really good first impression. These guys have even put faces of the actual support reps that will actually answer some of the queries that you have. And this is not stock art. These actually are the real people. So it gives a really good personable first impression. I think this is a really good example. Then, okay, so we've done the signpost. We've got people through the front door. We've made it nice and welcoming, so they're in to stay. People now need to get on with the job of getting stuff done or getting their issues fixed. And for me, it's all about reducing friction. We need to get technology, and we need to get the systems and the platform. We need to get them out of the way. All right, we need to get them out of the way so people can just get their job done. Technology was brought in to make our lives easier, but for some reason we've made it harder, and that's wrong. And the next best alternative for getting help is typically picking up the phone. Well, we've got to make it easier than that. But before we reduce friction, why don't we just remove some of the massive roadblocks that we have? Okay, I was looking at an online product the other night, and I had a question. So I clicked on help, and this is what I got. I got a login to support. So they wanted me to create an account and log in before I could even access some basic questions on their product. And suffice to say, I didn't do it, and I just went somewhere else. So that's kind of one lost customer. Then I had this when trying to file my expense claim with SAP. So I use a Mac, I use Chrome, and I go to the SAP portal, and this is the message I got. Could not open iView, whatever iView is. I've never heard of iView. The iView is not compatible with your browser, operating system, or device. Well, thanks for telling me that. Why don't you tell me which browser, which operating system, or which device? Contact your system administrator for more information. Well, who the heck is my system administrator? Okay, so this is like really just not good, right? It's wrong on so many levels, and it's an absolute blocker. Now, fortunately, I know that SAP works within Internet Explorer. Fortunately, I work for a company Citrix, which has really good technology that allows me to run Internet Explorer through this thing called Citrix Receiver on my Mac. So I can get around it, but every month I come to do my expense claim and I hit that, and it drives me nuts. And it shouldn't have to be that way. So these to me are massive blockers, and we've got to get these out, right? With things like Active Directory and all that stuff, we know about people, we know about what roles they are, where they are. There's just no need for it. Just no need for it. There's this really, really good book, and whether you're technical or not, I really encourage people to pick up a copy and read it. It's a really easy read, lots of pictures, but it's called Stop, Don't Make Me Think. And it's about reducing that friction. It's the stupid stuff on websites and now mobile apps that just drive us absolutely nuts. Things like the pre-population of fields, which keyboard you pop up on a mobile app. It's the little things that really often add up to things that just drive you around the bend. And then we've got the whole kind of simplicity philosophy. So here's an Apple product, right? Here's a typical Apple product. I love these cartoons. And then here's a typical Google product. So maybe Google have got a little bit more complex than that nowadays, but here's our typical service management experience. It's something like that. Why do we do it? We just have to make it easy for the company. For the user. Here's an approval screen of a certain service management system, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? What do I have to do? So poor old Mary manager here, she might spend a day going and using this approvals app and wasting 10, 15, 20 seconds to work out what she has to do for every one of those rows. Not to mention that she has to be trained on actually how to use the system. Okay, so that takes time as well. Not to mention the fact that maybe she detests this thing and she detests her own existence because she has to be forced to use something like this. Okay, so maybe why don't we focus upon better usability and making, in this case, the approval process simple and consumerish. So here's an example of our GoToAssist service desk approval screen. So really nice and clear. It's very clear who needs to approve it. It's got pictures so we know who it is. And there's a big red button for decline and a nice green button for approve. Now, I'm not saying we're perfect because we're not, but we have to make these experiences so that people can just pick them up, be efficient, and provide ultimately a better experience to the customer. So, want to talk about content. So, here's kind of what you saw when you walked into Nordstrom. Not too much content, not too little content. In fact, everything in there is really nice, really good quality. I'm not a fashion guru, but I've been led to believe that it's like up to date and fresh, nicely maintained. And we have to do the same for the stuff that we put up within our service management interfaces. If we're providing self-help, we have to really make sure that that's tightly maintained. We have to make sure that the good stuff bubbles up to the top. We have to make sure that stuff doesn't fall out of date. It's like a museum curator. So not only do you have to write good content, and that's an art in itself, and don't underestimate that. You have to really make sure that the content is continually good. And once again, don't underestimate that effort. But if you get good content, you can make really good happy customers. So content, again, you don't want something like this. You don't want just loads and loads of things thrown in the customer's faces, and each one of those things is not particularly good. So that's like low quality, high volume. Don't give the customer too much choice. We recently went away as a team to this place called Eureka Ranch, and it was a fantastic experience. And these guys that we were working with, work with a lot of companies around the world to kind of troubleshoot their businesses. And there was a food company they were working with that was selling 30 flavors of their food product. And they were like saying, hey guys, we're really struggling with sales. Like, we don't really know what the problem is. What they ended up doing was rationalizing those flavors from 30 to 4. And within a couple of months, they doubled their sales volumes. So actually, less choice is quite often a good thing. I know when I'm at a restaurant, I don't want to see a big menu with absolutely everything. I just haven't got a clue. I'd rather a menu of 10, 15 really nice things that I can just make a nice, easy choice from, knowing that every one of those is going to be quality. So let's go back to our Podio friends. Here's the content that they put up there within their Getting Started Help Center. Again, not too much, not too little, but every single one of those is really good stuff. And the guys at Podio know that because they know how many people are hitting that content. They know how many people are saying this content was useful, and they're actively managing it. And it's just really good quality content. Going back to our friends in New Zealand, Zero. So these guys have an incredibly rich application, and they've got a different challenge in the respect they've got so much functionality that they have to kind of document. But you know, they have a team of people that all they do is they're just hell bent on producing the best content to help people effectively get help for themselves. And why is that good? Well, a lot of people now prefer self-help as a channel, and the more people you direct through self-help and give a good experience, the less people you have calling through the traditional support channels. So make sure you have really good, relevant, up-to-date, well-written content that's fresh and that's beautiful. Now I want to talk about personalization, and I refuse to spell personalize with a Z because I'm English, so I'll spell it with an S. Yeah, personalization. Actually, before I jump into that, I'll kind of talk about context as well. So I think it's important not only to provide personalization within our experiences, but being aware of the surroundings, being aware of the context. So here's Podio. We are within the Podio application itself, and I'm within a certain part. If I click the Help Center, which is up here, what it actually does, it actually gives me links to videos and forums of exactly where I am in the application at that time, which just as someone needing help, that just saves me so much time. It's not funny. But then what's better is that you click on one of those video links, and it doesn't take you out to another website. It does a pop-up, and it shows you the video right there within Podio, and you haven't disrupted the user's flow. Okay? Really, really good, simple way to do that. Now, when I talk about personalization, increasingly we know, or we should know, what people have been doing, where people have been going, what support they've asked for before, and all those kind of things. And I'll draw the analogy to Amazon. So this is my Amazon account. Don't get too disturbed that I'm into face paint and rainbow loom stuff. That's what my kids are into. I don't know if it's a global thing, but crikey, the rainbow loom thing, rainbow loom thing here is just going crazy. But Amazon knows that I've bought these things, so it says, hey, well, maybe you should try that. Have you thought about buying this? Likewise, I've gone into Amazon and I've wish listed stuff, and I said, hey, I'm interested in that. And because of that, it's actually sort of served me up some content that it thinks I'm interested in. Well, why don't we do that in a support and service management experience? It should know where I am. It should know what my job title is. It should know that, for instance, I'm a developer, and it should say, well, hey, Dan, I know that it's been 3 years since you've had a PC. Maybe can I suggest this? To the customer, and be proactive as opposed to reactive. In retail, they do this all the time. Why do we not do this in service management? We always say we need to get more proactive, but I don't think enough we take that and expose that out to our customers. And then even if I'm not using Amazon, they still send me emails, and I don't mind, because they're sending me emails about things that I am actually quite interested in, and stuff that is relevant to me. Going back to an IT service management analogy, well, yeah, we can kind of say, in say a weekly or a monthly newsletter, we can deliver personalized emails. We should be delivering personalized emails into people's inboxes that said, hey, here's some support issues that might be relevant to you. Hey, here's some new services we've got to offer. So even make the communications more tailored and more personalized, and people will read them. People will get more engaged with you, and ultimately it'll be a better experience. So that was content. Here's one that I love: fun. Fun. I love fun, and I don't know why, but when we build service management experiences online, and I'm predominantly talking online here, we seem to take the personal and fun element out of things. I mean, imagine if you went into like a retail store and you kind of took back this, you took back a broken shoe or something like that, and you went to the retail assistant and she said, error code 451. I mean, you just don't do that in person. So why do we do that within our service management experiences? So let's make them more human. Let's make them more fun, and let's make sure some of the language that we use is fun too. Here's our old Beetle website. We deliberately used really fun language that was just day-to-day language that would resonate with people. More Beetle goodies to make your life easier. No one likes feature bloat, and neither do we. So it's kind of making it a lot more personal. I don't know why we just get into this rut of kind of black and white blandness. It drives me crazy. And then you can inject fun elements to make bad things even good. So every now and again, we all know we have to take our services offline for maintenance, but instead of presenting an error page, if you're lucky, sometimes you just get like a 404 or a 502 error, something horrible, Apache not found error. Why don't you put up a good maintenance page that gives people a bit of a chuckle? And one of the best ones I like is zeros. These guys are stars. So this is a little video, right? And when you actually watch it, you can see Craig, and he's there tapping away on his computer. He's doing his scheduled maintenance, but you can feed him coffee, and you click the feed him coffee button, and he goes, grabs his coffee, drinks it, and he starts typing even faster. Or if you're really annoyed, you can zap him, and kind of like on the video, he gets an electric shock. And yes, it might sound a little bit childish, but it just takes the edge off for people that are potentially upset because there is scheduled maintenance. It just takes the edge off, and it just calms everybody down. And so there's little simple things that we can do like this. We people, at the end of the day, people have to take systems down for scheduled maintenance. Let's appear and behave like people. Have a bit of fun. Everyone remembers the Twitter fail whale, right? And people were knocking it, but this is, this was a very, very memorable page, and it was fun. It wasn't just a Apache code, whatever. It was the fail whale, and people went nuts on the fail whale, and it became super famous, and there were parodies, and everyone always remembers it. And who's laughing now? So Twitter IPO'd, share price through the roof. They had a bit of fun. So you can do it. Okay, now I want to talk about channels and devices. So the NetGen, the new kids on the block coming through, 77% of those guys want service by chat, social media, or web self-service. Seniors and boomers, I don't count myself as a senior, but you know, the older guys, they love the phone. You know, they absolutely love the phone. So it's changing, and it's changing every single year. And chat, social media, web self-service is increasing, increasing, increasing. So people want, and I'll probably use the word demand. People really demand support and service, arguably via any channel they want. They will not just be content with the phone. And you know, if we make it hard for people, they will just go elsewhere. It's already happening, but it's our job to kind of get them back in. Here's an example of Zappos. So you know, Zappos, another company, really customer service crazy, but they provide really good multi-channel support. And most of the tool sets that you get nowadays let you do this almost out of the box, or you can get a couple of tools and integrate them pretty easy, and you can do this out of the box. So it's not a difficult thing to do. So these guys, live help, chat online, want to call, get on the telephone, not a fan of phone, send us an email, need answers, go check out our FAQs. So it's simple stuff that we should be doing. And again, the retail industry is doing this, but why are we not doing this as much in the service management industry? And then I talk about mobiles, right? Mobility, the proliferation of devices. People just work really strange, odd hours nowadays. I mean, you know, like most people watching this, it's probably 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I expect some people are probably watching this on a mobile device. It's kind of 7 o'clock here in Vegas. But we have to really embrace mobility, and it's not just about getting the desktop or the web desktop experience and slapping it on a mobile and saying we've got a mobile app. It's about really utilizing the features that you have on the phone, the gestures, the accelerometers, the GPS, the location, all those things. Like even like new phones, they have temperature sensors and pressure sensors. It's using all of that stuff. We've got iBeacon where within stores and within offices, you can pinpoint stuff to within centimeters worth of accuracy. It's all about really utilizing all those, providing what I call a mobile first experience. So you know, when we think about mobile, it's not just you know, do the desktop through mobile, because you know we can do that. We can fire up Safari on our mobile phones. It's about a mobile first experience. And I'd almost go as far as saying maybe just do mobile. Maybe just do mobile. You know, don't bother about desktop. Mobiles are going to be so ubiquitous, and it's going to be the de facto way for most things. So mobile first. Right. I want to talk about watching, testing, and learning here. So it's really important to know your customer, to know how they behave, know the environment that you're in. And if you provide service internally, generally it's quite an easy thing to do. But how often do we go and stand behind them and watch people struggle in their own environments? Watch where they go to look for help. Watch what are the things in their environment they kind of look for and kind of use to get their job done. You know, go out, have a look, talk to your customers, get on what we call customer safaris and really watch what they do, right? Talk to them. And then instrument what you do. So with technology like Google Analytics and all that kind of stuff, it's really easy to embed this into your flows. You know, it doesn't take more than an hour or two. And then all of a sudden, you can start building up visualizations like a standard shopping cart. So you can see where in maybe the order new PC process, you can potentially see where people are dropping off. You can see where the friction points are. You can see where those pain points are and turn around and address them. So instrument, really watch and know your customer. But then also, and this is a really good book, The Lean Startup, you know, measure A/B test potentially, and then do it again, do it again, and do it again. So for example, it might be 80% of my customers drop out at this certain stage of the order process. My hypothesis is that I think I can improve that by 50% by reducing the number of steps from 5 to 1, something like that. And then you go and do it, and because you've put in place those measures already, you can really see whether or not it's had that effect. And instead of doing these big bang things, just do a small test and learn from it and measure. Test, learn, measure, test, learn, measure. And that's kind of the whole philosophy of lean startup, but it's all based on the fact of validated learning, which is you're actually watching what your customers are actually doing, not what they're saying, but what they're actually doing. And it's a really, really, really good, but firm believer in that philosophy. And then what you then can do is, once you've implemented that level of instrumentation, and it doesn't take long. So we implemented this tool recently. It's called Mixpanel. And again, you embed certain tags into certain events that happen within your service management system. And if people get stuck, you can build triggers like, if someone has ordered a PC and has been stuck for 4 hours, then reach out and send them a push notification or send them an email. So what we can do is we can build intelligence into the system to kind of reach out and be proactive. So we know when people are having problems, much like when you're in a store and you can see someone's like frowning over a t-shirt or something, the retail assistant will walk over and say, hey, do you want help? We can also do the same thing with these tools that are readily available that you can get up and running and start using in, minutes, literally in minutes. So I argue there's no excuses. We don't need to do this big bang approach. We can try a lot of these things, and the tools are now available to do this stuff. Community, massively important, massively important. Let your customers talk to you. Let your customers talk to each other, and give them a nice place in which they can do that, where they feel they can be trusted, because, well, why? Customers, just being nice people. People like helping each other. People will come up with solutions to the problems you have quite often before you guys will do. People will come up with suggestions for your product that you've never even heard of. You'll find out through looking at your customers, through looking at the stuff they post in the community, how they're using your tool set. So people will come up with really good solutions that you can then take, collate, turn into a knowledge article, and then publish. If you build internal communities, you can find out who are the implicit experts on certain things. Who's the expert on email? Who's the expert on Word? Who's the expert on the payroll processing system? All those kind of things. So you can help start building up a knowledge map within your organization. Who's really good at doing what? That could lead to really good career opportunities for these people. You kind of unearth the kind of rough diamonds. It's just a great tool. And if you participate in that community, and if you're active in that community, and if you manage it well, you can get some fantastic benefits out of it. So here at Go to Assist, we use Get Satisfaction for our community. Again, these tools are readily available off the shelf. Sign up. You can be up and running within, probably 30-40 minutes. You'll be up and running, and you can do this kind of stuff. So again, I don't think you need to build it. Just go out there and start using it. So that's community. And then last, but certainly not least, and it's probably should have been first, it's all about people and culture. And I've been in the States now for 6 months, and I've been Disney a couple of times, and I'm consistently blown away as to how good that experience is. And the people, from the guy selling the hot dog through to maybe one of the senior managers or something like that at the restaurants, they are all really nice people that are just happy as, and that just provide you with really good service, and they really genuinely seem to care. And I don't think it's happy pills, that they're being fed. I think it all comes down from the top, and it all comes down from culture. And that's a hard one to solve. There's no doubt about it, but get the culture right, get the people in the right places, kind of exhibiting that culture, employ the right people that really care, that really have that ethos, and be really clear that this thing is important, and put goals around it and put structure around it, and measure people on it. Then you can build absolutely amazing experiences like Disney, like Nordstrom, like Amazon, like Zappos. And here's some quotes. So here's Tony Hsieh, the chief exec of Zappos. Businesses often forget about the culture, and ultimately they suffer for it because you can't deliver good service from unhappy employees. So again, you get the culture right, you get happy employees. Everyone loves to provide really good customer service and to kind of get that pat on the back, right? Everyone's proud of it. But you get happy employees, you get happy customers, and happy customers give happy shareholders. So it's a win-win-win. Another quote: we believe that customer service shouldn't be just a department, it should be the entire company. So I'm not saying that we can all change the world overnight from within our departments, but we need to exhibit the fact that, hey, really good customer service can and should go across the board. We should rally our leadership to ensure that customer service, I'm talking end-to-end customer service, is exceptional. But if you don't think it is, fight for it. Stand up and fight for it and be passionate about it. And then Nordstrom, they don't have an employee handbook. They just have this. Right? Use your good judgment in all situations. There are no additional rules. They empower their staff to do the right thing at the right time, and that's incredibly empowering to people at the ground level. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's trusting. So you get the right culture, you get the right people in the right environment of trust, and you can do great things like Nordstrom, like Amazon, like Zappos. It can be done, and we need to do it. So there you go, in a nutshell. Advertise, get some signposts up. Once people come to your front door, make it welcoming. Once they're through the front door, crikey, make it easy for people and reduce those speed bumps or reduce those padlocks. Get some good content. It's like a museum. Make sure you curate that content. Personalize the experience so people can get the stuff they want done faster. Watch what people are doing. Test and learn. Run little experiments. You don't need to do a big bang approach, but really know who your customer is. Inject a little bit of fun. Good language. Have fun. I mean, everyone loves fun. Channels and devices, multi-channel support. Give people support in the channel they want it, and devices mobile. Make use of that mobile stuff. Go mobile first. Community, get your community involved. Okay, get them helping each other, get them helping you. Fantastic asset. And then most importantly, get the right people and get the right culture and go hard. So that concludes my presentation. We've got a couple of minutes for questions. Alternatively, if after the fact you want to get in touch with me on Twitter at DanBobLee, there's my LinkedIn if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, or the good old snail email, dan.lee@citrix.com. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of TFT. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a good night, day, morning, whatever. Bye.